My name is Greta Stamper. I'm a postdoctoral research fellow in the Auditory Research Lab. My research project looked at noise exposure and the resulting effects on hearing loss, specifically the types of noise exposure that only result in a temporary decrease in hearing. So not unlike what you might experience after attending a loud concert or a loud sporting event, where your hearing is temporarily decreased immediately following the event, but the next morning when you wake up, the hearings return back to normal. There's been some recent work done in animal models that have shown for these types of noise exposure, even though they don't result in a permanent hearing loss, there's still the potential for permanent damage to be done to inner ear structures. However, it's unknown if the human ear behaves in the same way. For my study, I recruited normal hearing individuals who had a wide variety of different noise exposure backgrounds. Some participants had never been to a concert and had been around relatively small amounts of noise for the entirety of their lives. Other participants reported being around loud noise on a very regular, almost daily basis. I recorded several responses from these individuals, one of them being the auditory brainstem response. What the auditory brainstem response is it's a measure of the brain's electrical activity to sound, and it can be measured by placing electrodes on the surface of the skin. This was a pilot study, and so a lot more work needs to be done before we can draw any major conclusions, but the study results provided some pretty interesting findings. What we found was that in individuals who reported being around more loud noise on a more regular basis, they had significantly smaller auditory brainstem responses compared to individuals who reported being around relatively small amounts of noise. This tells us two pretty important things. One, just like in the animal ears, it appears that in the human ear, for noise exposures that do not result in a permanent hearing loss, there's still the potential for permanent damage to be done to the inner ear structures. And two, this new way of testing with the auditory brainstem response might give us a way to identify evidence of noise damage, but before a permanent hearing loss has developed.